my dad was in the war, and they were refugees at the time. My parents came here in the 90s. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so my dad was in the concentration camps, and he was basically held hostage for a few months. He was 20. He was our age, so he was
Yeah.
24, 25, and he was maybe weighing about like sub 100 pounds.
Wow.
They didn't feed him. They kept him in camps. They kept him like starving until basically they died.
Yeah.
The part of, I mean, not to get like too like political and everything, but the part of Yugoslavia at the time, which is now Serbia, those people wanted to kind of rule the whole country.
Yeah.
And obviously there was a lot of like backlash and fighting and back and forth, and that's where like the war kind of broke apart and the different countries sort of separated.
Awesome. So we are live. We got another episode of Adversity Kings. Special guest. Help me pronounce the name.
Edin.
Edin.
Yeah, you
what's,
got it.
What's
Very
the
foreign.
What's the nationality?
Bosnian.
Bosnian.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I think that's the first for me.
Yeah.
Chicago introduces me to unique individuals pretty much
Sure, man.
weekly. You know what I mean? Like, I've been here for 3 years and I've learned the most, I would say, probably just world wisdom and knowledge just from all the immigrants and diversification I've been introduced to. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is about Chicago, but I think they call New York the melting pot. I feel like Chicago's the melting pot, man.
Dude, for sure. Growing
know?
up, I went to, obviously I'm in the city, born and raised, and I still live in the city.
Yeah.
I went to Von Steuben for high school, and like it's just a complete melting pot. Like you have every single ethnicity,
What
like
is
everything.
that for? Like, what is that? Is that a unique high school for the listeners that have no?
No, nothing crazy, man. It's just a simple. It's a very simple city school. Nothing crazy. It's like
Yeah.
it wasn't hard to get into. When I was in high school, I was more of like a. I've been into like fitness and sports my whole life.
Yeah.
So that was like why I went there, was specifically like play volleyball.
Yeah.
My cousin was there. But then like I guess after graduating, that was when I like started taking things more serious with like business and
Yeah.
like my career and whatnot.
What now? Are your parents straight from Bosnia then?
Yeah, correct. So like in the 90s, so me and my business partner Kenan, both our parents are born and raised in Bosnia.
Okay.
And in the 90s there was a big war,
Yeah.
which pretty much separated the country. It was Yugoslavia before,
Yeah.
and it broke up into a bunch of different
Was
countries.
that
essentially.
prior? Was that Czech?
So it was
Czechoslovakia? Or
well,
Yugoslavia?
Yugoslavia basically, it was like it's Bosnia, Serbia, Macedonia, Croatia,
Okay.
and so
But
forth.
it's not close to Czechoslovakia.
Dude, honestly, I'm not the best
No
at.
idea. Okay. Well, I don't think it's called Czechoslovakia anymore. I think it's just Slovakia. You know,
Yeah.
that's my mom.
Okay,
so
cool,
she's Czech. So I took her last name. It's Dlabik. That's
Okay, cool.
That's her. But okay, so Bosnia had a war. Who was it between?
So it was a civil war. So it was
Okay.
in the country itself.
I had
So
some
the-
Albanians on the other day, and they had a civil war as well, and it kind of
Exactly.
eroded the country.
Yeah, exactly. So like back then when what is now Serbia, I mean, I guess everybody has their own story essentially, but my dad was in the war, and they were refugees at the time. My parents came here in the 90s, like
Yeah.
mid 90s, and then I was born shortly after. I'm born in 98.
Same.
Cool. And yeah, so my dad was in the concentration camps, and he was basically held hostage for a few months. He was 20, he was our age, so he was 24, 25, and he was maybe weighing about like sub 100 pounds.
Wow.
They didn't feed him. They kept him in camps. They kept him like starving until basically they died.
Yeah.
The part of, I mean, not to get like too like political and everything, but the part of Yugoslavia at the time, which is now Serbia, those people wanted to kind of rule the whole country.
Yeah.
And obviously there was a lot of like backlash and fighting and back and forth, and that's where like the war kind of broke apart and the different countries sort of separated.
Yeah.
So
So is your dad still around, or
yeah, he's still
Okay.
around. Yeah, he's alive and well. He's doing good,
is he a hardcore dude?
dude. Yeah, he's the reason why I am who I am today.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And now, are your parents still together?
Yeah.
Okay. What about your mom? What is she like? What'd she have to go through?
So she got here just before things got bad. She came here with her mom, and she came here a little bit younger, so she was fine. She kind of like got through everything without any issues. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, is there like a Bosnian community? Like, we have a lot of Polish that work here. I'd say 30-40% of my company is Polish right now.
Cool.
And they have like a community. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not obviously a specific area that they all live, but it's a very tight community that their culture has. Very tight knit family and very hard workers.
Yeah.
The Bosnians, is there a large presence in Chicago?
Yeah, I would say the Bosnian community is very closely like knit packed.
Yeah.
I'd say the biggest community is probably, or like the biggest area I would say, is the northwest side. Some parts of the suburbs like Des Plaines and like Skokie,
Yeah.
but for the most part, like yeah, I mean definitely it's small. I think St. Louis and Chicago are the biggest cities in the United States that have Bosnians in them.
Now I'm gonna do what I did for the Albanian and Armenian.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look up cool facts about Bosnia, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna vet them with you and see if they're true or not.
Cool.
And you
Let's
can
do it.
chime in too, Kanan, if these aren't cool. We'll see who's better
Yeah.
at the facts.
I guess while you're pulling that up, you said your mom was from
So she's not, I don't think any American probably you talk to and they're like, oh yeah, no. Like I could imagine that's probably 3 generations ago, Scotland and
okay, gotcha.
Czechoslovakia.
Cool,
So
cool. Hell yeah.
yeah, it's probably three parents, grandparents out. But the name Bosnia comes from the Indo-Germanic word bazana, which means water. Does that ring a bell?
That is beyond my time.
Does that
but
look like a picture in Bosnia?
probably. Yes, that's Mostar. So that bridge right there, that's actually where so his aunt actually works on that bridge. She has like her own shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, is he okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
No, it's
we got some people here that talk about I'm just playing.
Yeah, no, it's a really famous, one of the most famous like landmarks in Bosnia. That Red Bull actually hosts events there.
Yeah.
Like diving events. So.
What's the political state of the? Is it a nation? How is Bosnia operating currently?
I think it's democracy, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Do you
dude,
guys have
it's-
family and go back? The Polish go back once a year.
I haven't been, dude. I need to go. It sounds bad, but I haven't been in Bosnia since I was like
Young,
10, 12 maybe.
same.
Yeah.
Now, is it safe to go? Can you travel in and out
Yeah.
even as a tourist? Or
Yeah.
is it easy to pick out? Can you guys speak Bosnia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fluent, yeah.
Now, would it be easy? Because I always hear from individuals. I haven't been to Europe, but from my friends that travel to Europe, they'll say the natives say it's very easy to pick out the Americans. So, like,
Yeah.
would it be easy to pick out the Americans in Bosnia?
Yeah, it'd be even easy to pick out us, even though because we're like more Americanized.
Yeah.
So like even if I go over there, they'll know like yeah, this guy's Bosnian, but he's American.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's right next to Croatia. So if you have an idea where Croatia is, they share the same border. They
Yeah.
share the borderline, and they share part of the. Croatia pretty much takes most of the.
Is that turtle going nuts? What is
Yeah.
it doing? Headbutting and sound. I was like, sometimes he eats the carpet and it
Yeah.
annoys me because I don't know if he's
Dude, the
gonna
fact that you have a
survive.
pet turtle is
It's
insane.
massive too, and you just see things shake. I hate when it's out in the office because it'll knock things over.
That's so funny.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Sarajevo
Yeah. So,
hosted the Olympic Games in 1984. These games were special because it was the first time that a socialist country hosted the Olympic Games. The organizers took full advantage of this opportunity, which resulted in many sports facilities built at the time. So it says here socialist country. Is this still true to this day?
no, not anymore. I don't think
No?
it is. Dude, honestly, I'm not, like I said, I'm not,
Not the
the best,
best,
with
yeah.
with history, but I'm pretty sure it's more of a democracy now.
So it says here, public transport were pulled by animals, mostly horses, but mules were also used, this was from 1885 and on, which were usually harnessed in groups of 2 in front of the wagons. 11 years later, Sarajevo was the first city in Europe to have a fully electric tram line, which I imagine, is there a lot of trains?
Yeah,
over
so I mean, Bosnia is very hilly and mountain-like. It's developed now, like compared to how it was. Obviously, same thing with like America, like now,
Yeah.
but like,
It says you guys are 10th in the world for coffee consumption. You guys like coffee?
dude, if you go to Bosnia, the only thing that people eat for breakfast is coffee and cigs.
Yeah?
That's it. Yeah, bro.
I had an older man. I need to ask. He just started selling insurance in my company. He's 85, and I can tell he's got a thick European accent. I just can't identify which one. But he said he gave me a water bottle. He's like, I've been trying to drink more water, brother. And I'm like, he's not Russian. I just add the brother to any European accent. So,
yeah.
And he's like, I start my day and I'll drink all day with coffee, and I go to bed with scotch. And I'm like, this dude's 85.
He's got to be Eastern European.
I'm like-
it has to be. Yeah.
Well, we were drinking water, working out 8 times a day, and I get
Yeah.
sick once a month. And I'm like, this dude's like, I start my day with coffee, I end the day with scotch.
Yeah.
I'm like, dog, I'm
Yeah, I
trying
think-
to drink a gallon
yeah,
of water a
that's-
day.
That's I think like I have that same issue where it's like my cousins and like family in Bosnia like don't get sick, and all they do is like drink and smoke cigs and
Yeah.
shit. And I'm over here like same thing, like worrying about my health all day, drinking like 2 gallons of water, a
Yeah, I'm
gallon
trying
of
to get
water.
water down. I'm talking to, should I do this? Should I do that? The Sarajevo Clock Tower is a historical heritage site, and it's considered the only public clock in the world that measures lunar time, which I have no idea what that is. Maybe some moon time or something. But this clock tower, is it dope?
So in Sarajevo, it's I mean,
That's how you say it. No,
yeah, Sarajevo. That's I guess
Sarajevo.
with the Bosnian
Yeah, I'm over
pronunciation.
here. Yeah.
I mean, Sarajevo in English is but it's right. I've never been there, so I'm not too sure. Yeah, my parents are from the northwest side and the east side.
It says here that Bosnia and is it How do you pronounce Bosnia from like an actual Bosnian? How would they say
You would just take the I out, so it'd be Bosna.
Bosnia?
Yeah.
And what about Herzegovina?
Yeah, you got it good. Herzegovina or Herzegovina. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
the so between these two is the country that has more waterfalls than Italy, France, and Germany combined. That's got to be beautiful. Are these
Sounds about
places look
right.
legit?
Yeah, that looks right, man. Yeah.
That looks beautiful. Dude, this looks like a beautiful place to go. I don't know why people all go to Italy. This looks even better.
Yeah, I mean Eastern Europe in general, all of it is beautiful. I mean, you go to Croatia, you go to Macedonia.
Oh my goodness,
Any of
this
those
looks
areas.
beautiful.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, I think Bosnian food is like really unique.
Let's talk about that.
You
too
could
when we
look
get
it
back
up.
into
So you
these.
could find like I mean the most common Bosnian food, which is like the comfort food, is cevapi. So that's Cevapi. It's basically like beef and lamb sausages with like
Sounds so
with like a
good.
buttery sour cream and bread.
Ask her what I eat all the time. All I eat is like lamb and sausage.
Yeah.
That's literally all I eat.
Yeah, you'd like it, man. There's actually there's a Bosna grill that's not, I mean it's not that close, but not too far from here. Ooh,
Baklava.
baklava, yeah. I think
I don't know what it is because
Yeah.
we as Americans, I think we just associate baklava with Greeks.
Mhm.
But I've noticed that just pretty much spread like that
Yeah.
flaky bread with like a caramelized sugar. Like that's just a typical like a European pastry.
Yeah, that's really big, especially during like holidays. Like that's like what families usually make is like baklava.
Baklava,
There's
yeah.
also another thing called like I don't even know how to say it in English, but like yeah. It's basically like similar to baklava, but it's more just like doughy.
Doughy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's dope. I think I don't know. I think between the Scottish and Irish, German, whatever, on my mom's side, we grew up on a lot of kibasi and sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Now the Polish call it kibaszka or something,
Yeah.
and
Kobasa and Bosnian.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I figured that was just like a Scottish, Irish, German thing. But
Mhm.
again, I'm noticing a lot of the European countries, the sauerkraut, the kibasha, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, pierogies.
Pierogies are Polish.
Yeah, so we'd
Yeah, that's-
smash pierogies growing up.
Yeah.
You know, between those three things. But I remember having that. I felt like once a month we were having sauerkraut and you know what I mean.
Yeah, for
kibasha,
sure.
So
Yeah, there's certain things that you could like that you'll know is native to like certain countries, but a lot of it is like a melting pot almost where it's
Yeah.
like kind of been globalized and spread
What-
apart.
what's your favorite dish from Bosnia or from maybe even your mom still cooks?
Yeah, probably pita,
Pita.
which is it's essentially it's between pita or cevapi, like I mentioned with the lamb and like
Yes.
like the sausages. But pita essentially you can make it a couple different ways. It's the same base concept. It's basically like a meat pie or like a
Yeah.
cheese pie or whatever it may be, but it's like you eat it as dinner
Yeah.
or lunch. Essentially you take some dough, spread it out on a table, and then you have whatever you want to have in the pie you put inside. You wrap the dough over it,
Throw it
cut
in the
around
oven.
it, wrap it into a little
Yeah.
pie and throw it in the oven.
Yeah, it's like a chicken pot pie.
Yeah,
American.
kind of, sort of, yeah.
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 It's a fancier, cooler, healthier sounding version.
Yeah, I
Now,
mean,
how-
it uses oils, but yeah, for sure.
Now, I know you guys haven't been back in a while, but I'm
Mhm.
always so curious, and we're gonna get over there soon. I don't know where or when, but the consumption of food. Like when I go to Mexico and eat food, I definitely don't feel better.
Yeah,
You know
no.
what I mean? But I always hear you go to Europe and like you're gonna eat food and not gain weight, and you're
Mhm.
gonna feel great. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
is this true from your friends and family in the most recent years?
Yeah, so our buddy Alden, the one who's actually going to be working with you or
Yeah.
working for you, whatever you want to say.
I like to say
Um,
with.
Yeah,
I always
working
like
with
to say-
sounds
yeah,
less
I always like to say with.
less friction, yeah.
Yeah.
So Alden, he just came back from Bosnia actually. He was telling me he was eating like a pig out there, just like chicken, and like a bunch of meat, a bunch of like even chocolate, like these
Yeah.
sweets, and he lost weight.
Yeah.
And he's a bit of a heftier dude, like he's heavier, but he's lost weight like eating like if you were to eat that here, he'd gain
Brother,
a shit
you'll
ton of
not
weight.
believe this. I work out. I do a lot of jujitsu, and
Yeah.
they're I think they're Kyrgyzstanian, so I know it's
Mhm.
some type of Russian. But I just add brother to everything.
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
European, I'm adding brother. So I don't know. Hopefully,
Yeah, those Russians, man, they're crazy.
crazy. I
Yeah.
hate doing it with them. man. I don't know how to pronounce this. Have you been here?
Let's see.
No, you're good, brother.
So I haven't been there. No, I haven't been there. That's near Mostar though, which is basically near the bridge that you were looking at earlier.
That looks sweet.
That I haven't been to. No.
I'm gonna try for you guys. Medjugorje.
Yeah.
Ring a bell? doesn't even know what I'm
It's
talking
like
about.
a statue of like I don't even know who's the
With
statue
Christian
of.
pilgrims, millions of pilgrims have been visiting the place since 1981, when a small group of young people in this village started to announce that the Holy Virgin had appeared to them. It's a
Yeah,
small town with like a Holy Virgin
yeah.
monument.
Yeah, so the cool thing with Bosnia is that the country is predominantly Muslim, right? So I'm
Yeah.
Muslim, Kenan's Muslim, we're
Okay.
but the I mean obviously it's again I think Islam is like is a very very respectful religion.
Yeah.
Definitely, I feel like American media probably
I
gets it.
well no I watch a lot. I watch Patrick David. I don't know if
Okay.
you watch him as
Yeah,
well, and he'll
yeah.
do religious podcasts. And he'll have obviously right now there's a massive polarity difference between at least
Mhm.
media portrays it that way
For sure,
between
yeah.
the Islamic and Christian beliefs. But he'll have different individuals on. I would say 30% of my company right now is probably Muslim. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for
So,
sure.
and I try to incorporate their beliefs, but simultaneously I try to understand is as well. You know what I mean? Coming from a very strong Christian faith,
Mhm.
I like to understand their ways, opposed to
Mhm.
allowing media to create fear mongering and then
Yeah,
to just completely deceive
for
or
sure.
create these disillusions for us in general. So,
For sure,
and
yeah.
I've had a lot of individuals on, and we've talked, from Palestine and different beliefs and certain things like that and
Mm.
different perspectives. So it's really cool to get people on and see how it all operates from a genuine person, opposed to
Yeah.
here's what the CNN said.
Yeah, so the cool thing with Bosnia on that, they hold the I think, man, I could be wrong on this, but they hold the oldest, I believe, Bible in the
Wow.
world. It's
Yeah.
in Bosnia, it's in the museum.
Yeah.
And that was I think during man, back in the day when there was like um I forgot what emperor it was, but there was like cuz that area or that part of Europe is like it's like almost like obviously it's Eastern Europe, but that's where like a lot of emperors were going through and whatnot and
Yeah.
fights and wars back then.
Yeah.
And I know that like I said, obviously dude, it's probably like 90% Muslim, maybe the country.
Yeah.
And the fact that they still like respect all religions and like they have the oldest Bible I think in the
That's
world.
insane.
Yeah, so
That's
and it's in the
insane.
museum, and I know I know there was like obviously, or maybe it's actually, you know what? I don't think it's the Bible. I'm wrong. I think it's the Torah,
Yeah.
the oldest Torah. So like the Jewish
Yeah. Okay. That
yeah.
makes sense.
So that I think that's what it is. Yeah, the oldest Torah in the world ever to be, to exist. So very cool.
Sidetrack back into these weird facts.
Yeah.
Um, this has just been hitting me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because it says here you guys have a rainforest, Percusica,
Probably, but I'm not familiar with that.
a rainforest.
Let's see, we're located in Bosnia and Herzegovina near the border of Montenegro. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so that's on the other end, other side of
That's sweet. It says they have a rainforest, Percusica or whatever it is located in Bosnia and
yeah.
Herzegovina near the border with Montenegro and is part of the Sajeska National Park. It is also the home to the tallest Norwegian fir tree, which is 63 meters high. What is it, 3 feet in a meter, roughly? 2.5,
Yeah,
3 feet in a
3
meter?
feet's 1 meter
So what's
roughly.
that, like 180-foot high tree? That's massive. 1952, this forest area was declared a site to be scientifically researched and studied. It extends over 1,200 hectares. I wonder if that's kind of like miles,
Yeah.
kilometers, who knows? Let's see here.
Yeah, a lot of those facts I'm not even familiar with, so that's crazy.
Yeah, some of these seem like a little more historical opposed to like pop. The next thing I want to get into is like who are cool, famous people that have come out of Bosnia. I feel like there's got
Hmm.
to be a UFC.
Oh, I
Bosnia.
mean, there's Mirsad Bektic. He was he's not. I mean, he was a fighter.
Yeah.
He wasn't too big, but he had he had a good run like a few years ago. Before I think like right before COVID.
Let me see here.
Yeah.
Famous. Let's look up
Andrew
famous.
Tate's coach is Bosnian, so there's that.
Yeah. Let's see here. Famous Bosnians.
I'm curious if I mean, not I don't even want to get into it, but I know Andrew Tate converted to Islam. I wonder if his coach had an influence on that because he's Bosnian,
Yeah.
so maybe.
I don't know. I can't recognize some of these. Hopefully they kill out the dead space of me searching up Bosnians.
That's fine.
No, I don't care at all, bro. Yeah. No, literally no, it doesn't matter. You know any Bosnians that stand out?
They're famous, man.
Looks like you guys have some famous football players. Edin Zeko.
Oh yeah. So me and him share the same name. He's really big. He's
Is that, did I pronounce it right again?
yeah,
Edin?
or I mean I say
Edin.
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 Yeah,
Edin.
but I know I mean there's a lot of Edins or
Edin.
Eden. They say
Yeah.
Eden as well, so kind of just
Edin.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's really big actually. He's like, I mean, he's played at Milan, he's played at Roma, he's played at
Yeah.
Manchester City. So like
He's
he's been everywhere. He actually
yeah.
did he? I don't know. He's played a lot of teams. He's been really good at every team he's played
Have you
at.
heard
So
of Gavrilo Principe?
no,
He's
not to
like
me.
he's some historical figure that was the assassinator of Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Oh yeah, so I know that because so in the I think that was like in the I mean it was in the
Yeah,
19
this dude was born in
1950
1894, so yeah, it had to have been early
like in the 40s 50s
1900s,
or
I would
something.
imagine.
Yeah. He Arc France Arc whatever his name is Ferdinand, he was like the whatever you want to call it, chancellor or whatever of the area. He got actually assassinated in Sarajevo.
Yeah.
So I know that's like a historical event that happened in
Was he like
Bosnia.
a evil figure over
No, I think
Bosnia or
no, he wasn't. I don't think he was anything bad. I think he was, man, I'm not even sure. We have to search that up. Or he was the guy. So I think what happened was that was a story. It's actually a pretty famous story where when he got assassinated, the person who killed him um was Serbian, and which is a neighboring country. That's
yeah.
the neighboring country. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was Serbian, and the guy tried to commit suicide like 4 or 5 different ways right away after killing
Yeah.
the Archduke or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what his I don't know what his
Yeah.
title was. But he failed to kill himself all 4 times. Like he drank some poison which was expired, didn't die. Tried drowning himself in a river. The river was too shallow, didn't die. Tried to like jump off the bridge to get into the river, didn't die. So like he tried to commit suicide after making the
Wow.
and it's like it's this kind of funny story
Yeah,
that's
that's nuts.
yeah.
Miralem Pjanic.
Yeah, Pjanic. So
Pjanic?
he's just another soccer player, really good. I think he's my. I mean,
Hey, you guys have a massive basketball player. I think it would call it like Joseph Nurkic.
Yeah, Nurkic is. Are you into basketball?
Not really. But
Okay.
he's 7 foot.
Yeah, he just got traded to the Suns.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool, down to earth Bosnian guy.
Alija Zdebojevic,
Not sure what that is.
first president of Bosnia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's I should probably know that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying. I mean, I feel like when it comes to like or like famous figures, most of them are probably athletes.
Yeah, this dude says your most famous filmmaker, Emir Kusturica.
Probably I'm not too into
Yeah,
into like the film
the
industry.
Bosnian movies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think Bosnia is most known for its historical events,
Yeah,
the significance of the country, like in the area that it's in, because it's a pretty like historic. Like there's a lot of history that's gone on in the country, and bless you.
thank you.
And yeah, it's more for that's what it's more known. So like for its landmarks and for its historical events.
Dope.
Yeah.
Then Seed Kalasanic,
What's up?
Sahid.
Oh, Kolasinac.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a soccer player. He's a defender.
let's go.
Yeah,
Dope. Well,
sure.
a lot of preface on maybe a little more than I typically do, but I really get interested in cultures and where people are from and how that all operates and things like
Hell
that.
yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool. So into growing up, what was growing up for you like?
Yeah, man. So obviously born and raised in Chicago. Kind of grew up playing sports my whole life. I grew up in a household with my cousins, my uncle. So my dad and my uncle are twin brothers. We all grew up in the same household. So first floor, second floor, basement, and it was just like it was me, my mom, my sister, and then it was my 2 cousins, and then and an uncle on the first floor. So it was like kind of a big like we all
Yeah.
came together. So it was I mean that's kind of I've always been like family oriented growing up.
Yeah.
And then super sports oriented. School was like, I mean school was there I guess, but
Yeah, like a chore.
yeah I was good in school, but I was like it didn't really like I didn't resonate with it, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. That's kind of why me and Kenan started our own business, to be honest, because growing up I played sports my whole life, played soccer, played volleyball, played basketball, started playing golf. So I've loved sports.
Yeah.
Like I've played almost everything. I used to do karate growing up, which is whatever. My dad grew up doing judo.
Mm-hmm.
So like just super sports oriented family. But then when I got to college, I was like kind of stopped playing sports because I was more focused on like academics, I guess, trying to
Yeah.
get my degree. Got my degree in finance, and then after that, I was like, I worked at JP Morgan, corporate of Chase, and I did that for about a year and a half, and I was like, you know what, fuck this. This is not what I want to do for the rest of my life, and I kind of like hated it, and I quit my job this year, and have been doing business ever since. So
Now, how long have you guys known each other?
For yeah, so we were kids,
Yeah.
man. Grew up together.
Like here, you guys met? Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so through Alden, our cousin.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's like my cousin. He's his cousin. We're not related, but like kind of like through him, we
Yeah.
his parents would be at Alden's house. My parents would be at Alden's house growing up, and then we would tag along, and then we just became friends.
What's Alden do?
Alden, right now, I mean, he's working with you.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
But
My
he
bad.
he's been in sales his whole life. He was a car salesman for a long time, and he lives in Des Plaines. But
What's the
yeah, no,
Bosnian flag look like?
it's
I'm about to look this thing
yeah.
up.
There's been
I love countries so much. I admire individuals that take a lot of pride in their country.
yeah.
And then I always try to highlight that in regard to when I speak and try to inspire other individuals. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
listen, you have to bring honor to your family. If they left their country to come to another country,
Mhm.
obviously something horrible had to transpire
Yeah.
because nobody leaves their country. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
dude.
it takes a tremendous amount of pain and sacrifice and just overall internal turmoil for you to be forced out of your country, and you never lose that pride and respect for your country. So I always
Mhm.
admire that, and I try to incorporate that into my small circle of like honoring America. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Being a native to America and making sure we're doing so, because I take a lot of consideration of the immigrants that I've learned from over the last few years. I love the really tight family units that you guys have. It's inspired me to, want to essentially move my mom. Like no 25-year-old's like, hey, I want to move my mom in with me. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I see all these Albanians, the Polish, and it's like they have this tight family core,
Yeah.
and they keep the mom there, and the mom
Yeah,
they
grandma lives
retire
with
the
you,
mom,
yep.
yeah, and it's like family dinner. She
Mhm.
cooks, she cleans. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Super
Helps out the house,
traditional.
but your mom don't work. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
take care of the mom. So it's like
Yeah, man.
I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know why as Americans we separate and we divide, and then we put our parents in homes and let them fade away. My mom's young; she's not going to home or anything.
Yeah, I could get
But
I have my own reasons on like that. It's super like
what are your thoughts?
so man, I'm gonna get like super not conspiracy, but like I don't even know, conspiracy, political,
I don't.
whatever it is.
Conspiracies are invalid. You know what I mean? You see all
Yeah.
these memes. After a while, maybe they were conspiracies 4 or 5 years ago, but there's
Yeah.
so many factual things that have lined up. Now they're just like
Yeah. So
facts.
I think America does a good job of trying to separate the parents from the kids because they want the kids to grow up in an educational, like they want them to like educate the kids. America,
Yeah, they
I
wanna
feel like wants to
brainwash 'em.
educate the kids versus having the parents do it. Obviously, back in Bosnia, your parents are the ones that are pretty much educated. I mean, they go to school, but like
Yeah.
the education system and the parents' ideas and views are the same.
Yeah, they're lined.
Exactly, they're aligned. Yeah, and in America, I think it's like at least if you're in or from a traditional family, it's almost like opposite.
Yeah.
And they kind of, America kind of raises you and educates you to become a 9 to 5 worker. I think.
I would not put my kids in a public school system right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I always tell this to individuals, especially this is another thing I try to incorporate into my belief
Hmm.
is very rarely it doesn't make Islam, I think sometimes will get classified or labeled as an extreme
Hmm.
group
For sure. Yeah.
because in my opinion, they don't take disrespect
Yeah.
to their beliefs. And we live in a day and age where if you don't accept someone disrespecting you,
Yeah.
then you are a terrorist, you are a
Yeah.
extreme group, you're a hateful individual or like some type of
Mhm.
proud individual, like to the extent of like Proud Boys or different things like that. And so it's like I try to think to myself of like there's no way, and I'm just speaking in regard to facts that have been displayed on the news.
Yeah.
There's no way that I've seen some of these churches, Christian churches, that will incorporate, inclusivity. I'll leave it as simple as that.
Hmm.
That's not happening in a mosque. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
No, I agree.
there's no way they would tolerate that. And then
Yeah.
due to the lack of toleration, now you're an extreme group, and
Yep.
you guys are you
Yeah,
guys are
it's-
hateful individuals, and I think it bleeds into every aspect, and that's where I go back to as an American. Now I'm looking for Eastern inspiration
Mhm.
to instill into my family, above, below, the future, whatever it might be in my small circle of like, we've got to take America back before we're in a situation respectfully where we're leaving like our Bosnia. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
man.
Because there's some type of civil war.
Yeah.
And that's what these things lead to. When you have a divide in a country, it's like it's the simple parable that we've all heard: a house divided falls and a house united stands.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I resonate with that a lot. I think it's actually really cool that you kind of like you're able to see like an aerial view of how things are panned out and have your own ideas and how you want to like live your life and
Yeah.
raise your family and whatnot. it's really cool. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. I mean, Islam doesn't really take. It's the only religion. I don't want to say the only religion, but it's one of the only religions that like I feel like doesn't get
You guys are very
disrespected.
united. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's not watered down.
Hmm.
Where it's like, I think Christianity, I think, has almost become like an Instagram
It's
badge. You
sad
know
to
what I
see,
mean?
man.
Like it's
I
just,
hate it.
it's something where it's like you just wear it and do it to say it because
Yeah.
it looks good for Instagram. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man. I agree.
And I just pray whatever everyone's beliefs are, that if you're gonna believe something, that you represent it wholly. It would almost be like
Mhm.
having a wife wearing the ring, but like it just being a joke, and me like just kissing on other girls all the
Mhm.
time. You know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah.
when you're committed to a belief system, be fully committed. You know what I mean? Or just divorce it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like there's no way I would allow a man to be in my close circle and have a actual wife ring and then just blatantly, you know what I mean? Or I wouldn't honor that man
Right.
either. Even if
Cheating. Yeah.
he's a good friend with me, like I've got friends that, I probably don't respect the most when it
Hmm.
comes to their
For sure.
relationships,
Yeah, man.
but I make sure they know that
Yeah.
there's no honor or respect for, you know what I mean, your carelessness
Yeah.
and how you're treating females. Cuz that's not a good man in my belief, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I
No, I
believe that in
agree.
every aspect of business, your religious beliefs and things like that. Like, don't be for lack of better words, don't be a hoe in business and your
Yeah.
beliefs in life. So
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I take the approach in life where I do everything. I don't treat things differently in life. Like if I'm the way I run my business is the way I approach everything in life. You know,
yeah,
with family, the same way I run my family. You know, all that stuff. So which is with respect, with integrity. One of my go-to lines whenever we're on a sales call, whenever I'm on a sales call, is like, I'm in this business to build strong relationships and with integrity. I'm not here to waste anybody's time. Waste anybody's money.
yeah,
Same thing with any situation in life. So
yeah. That was my opening line in life insurance. It was, I'd knock on the door because I was a door to door, and I would
yeah,
already have a preset appointment. I'd say, "Hey, I'm Tristan Ross with American Income Life, Local 277. I got your benefits package.
yeah,
Let's go ahead and sit at your dining table. If your wife's ready, we're gonna get this knocked out. If you don't mind, I'm gonna get through this as quickly as possible.
uh-huh,
That way, you don't have any questions. If you do have any questions, just stop me, knock me on the head, whatever it might be. But I'd tell them right away, like, listen, I want to get through this as quickly as possible and save
mhm,
you time, and save me time and get to the next individual. So I'd rip through it and let them know, look, we're save time. I'm gonna be, upfront, and then I'd make them laugh and say, just slap me in the head if I don't make sense or something like
yeah,
that.
man,
They'd start laughing.
yeah, man,
So
that's the way to do it. But yeah, I mean, like, kind of just touching back on the whole like religion thing. I think it's sad to see, how like at least America. I don't think other countries are really doing it per se, but at least like how America's like there's not much respect with Christianity. And it's sad to see. I hate to see it. It's almost like mocking Jesus or mocking like certain figures in the religion. And I know, although it doesn't happen in Islam, just because I'm not sure exactly why, but Islam doesn't really get disrespected. I think because like you mentioned, it's just very like neatly packed, and the religion, like I mean, people that are Muslim really like stand up for it. Like
yeah,
there's a lot of respect for it. So like if you respect your religion at the utmost, then you won't take disrespect on it either.
yeah,
And like I said, it's kind of sad to see like how Christianity nowadays is somewhat getting disrespected. Like I could give like many examples, but like you'll see like if you go to Chicago is very liberal, and it's just like obviously I don't have anything against any community or anybody. I treat everybody with respect. But like when you have a shirt that says stuff like where Jesus is gay, like it's disrespecting the religion on a different level, and it's kind of sad to see, but
yeah.
it is what it is.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think there's an attack specifically on America
Hmm.
and then American Christianity.
Yeah.
I feel like we're being highlighted more so
Mm.
of an attack that's being planted internally, seed wise. Like our leaders are just corrupt. So it's like
Yeah.
where there's corruption in leadership, the
Yeah.
apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean?
I
So
agree.
that corruption is this infectious disease that has started at the core of our leadership. And so if we wanted change, we would need to do like I'm watching the fall of the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
We would need to we would need to, in a sense, quote unquote, have this Julius Caesar moment. And if you're familiar with how Julius Caesar was replaced, the
Hmm.
Senate gathered, had him in for a meeting, and they all stabbed him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Now I'm not
Yeah.
obviously saying anything
Yeah. Yeah.
like that, but I'm obviously in
Fresh
regards to
slate.
leadership, it needs to be a fresh slate. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It needs to be individuals with strong principles and beliefs, and that would turn around the attack very quickly in regard to our beliefs and our systems and our nation in general. And I don't think it's complex. I don't think it's complicated. I think the political system, every political system should be merit based.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And you see these individuals that'll have like 6-figure salaries or low 7-figure salaries, and they'll retire with a mass amount of wealth, and they
Hmm.
didn't do anything significant when it comes to business development or anything like
Yeah.
that, like a Nancy Pelosi, or you'll just hear these weird stories, and it's like none of these individuals should get compensated for anything outside of, did you bring growth to a community?
Yeah, man.
If not, you don't get compensated. If anything, if you didn't bring growth, you get punished. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you
It's
owe us
corrupt,
money.
man.
You know what I mean? Like, when did we get to tax you? The people's tax. That's
Yeah.
what we need.
Yeah,
And
dude, it's corrupt, and I mean, it is what it is. That's kind of like going back to like the whole, growing, raising your kids in a public school, and
yeah,
like,
I
the
wouldn't do
wife
that
being
at all.
separated and all that stuff. And
I've
it's
met
like,
many parents
yeah,
that say they're pulling their children from school, even in
yeah,
Illinois. And typically from Illinois, I get,
yeah,
liberal vibes, and everybody is like, I don't care what happens. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, dude.
yeah. I know.
Very quickly you can tell like who's an immigrant and who's not. I've not met
Yeah,
one immigrant that is politically associated with liberalism. You know what I
mm-hmm,
mean? Because they know what socialism leads to.
yeah,
You know what I mean? At
yeah.
first, it's a great idea. Everybody's going to have equal
Equal, yeah.
access and fair opportunity, and then it
You see where
very
the
quickly
problems come.
evolves
Yeah,
into communism. And like, where did this come from? Like,
yeah, man.
surprise.
Yeah, man, for sure. And you hit it right on the nail. Like I think both extremes of both sides of politics are not good, but it's like,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, especially in Chicago, you don't see much of the right extremist side.
No.
You definitely see the left extremist side. But
Yeah,
I mean, I think too much of anything, too much
I agree.
to an extreme of anything is not good.
I'd be
So
telling my mom that she'd be telling me to eat more vegetables.
yeah,
I'm like, listen, too much is bad.
yeah, man,
So
for sure, dude. Yeah, looking at them facts.
I was just looking at this. So my phone blew up. They sent a bunch of texts. One of these kids left our group chat, and everybody's going nuts. I know I'm gonna get a call about it, so I'm excited because this is a funny kid. So I have no idea what happened, but he's also can be a pain in my butt. So
Yeah. So what I guess with your business, I know a little bit obviously about it,
yeah,
but like kind of I wanted to know, like, obviously I kind of told you, born and raised in Chicago, kind of told you my
yeah,
whereabouts. I kind of want to know where you're,
yeah,
give me your story. I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
I don't know, it's for everybody, I guess, for people watching. I don't,
Yeah.
you know,
No, I was born and raised. We were born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas. We're 4 years and a day apart.
cool.
Parents split up when we were 6. Moved back with my mom. We lived up there with my grandparents, her parents,
Hmm.
for a couple months. She went away, and technically on paper for a year or so, but through the court system, everything like that, through the parental, what is it, the custody court,
Yeah.
it cost us about 2 years away from mom for the first time, and then I think we probably got back with her 9 or 10 for me, so it would have been 6 for her roughly.
Hmm.
And we spent that year and a half with my dad, and had some good seeds planted there. My dad was a really hardcore dude.
Yeah.
When I look back, I'm grateful for the things that he was hardcore. Like, there was losing was never an option. Like,
Yeah.
there was no, like, we don't watch cartoons, we watch 300. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So
For
he's
sure.
like real hardcore, and
I could
he
relate
drank
to
a
it.
lot. You know what I mean? So definitely scarred me a little bit because he was,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? He drank and get a little abusive, but I don't think as bad as like other people have had it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I think
Yeah.
I saw my half brother get it once real good, and you know what I mean. I look back and I'm grateful for it. So
Mhm.
I don't like to label. America would call it abuse. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
The Spartans would call it like a, you know what I mean? Like
teaching your
fluffing.
children. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And probably even immigrants too. Like, I bet like
Yeah.
they're not talking back to mom or anything like that. And,
Yeah.
but I don't know. You know, you can't just get drunk and just start smacking. It made me tough though. So I get
For
torn
sure.
between it because I'm like, when I have a son, it's like, I'm not a drinker, but it's like, maybe I just need to punch him a couple times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Like once a month. You know what I
For
mean?
sure. I mean,
I don't know. Like, what would you rather have? A soft son
Yeah.
or a hardcore, like extreme? You can
Yeah.
have an extremely soft son. Hey, dad.
Yeah.
Who comes in? Like, what would you pick?
Yeah. No, it has to be hard, man.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick the hard. So it's like growing up, it's like I don't know. I was conflicted. It was like, man, I almost had like this victim mindset. I'm like, man, I had this bad childhood, and my sister always told me to shut up and stop saying it was that bad. So like
Yeah.
I try to incorporate that perspective of like, well, what was good about it? Well, man, it made me. I got rich. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's some things in there that made me very tough. She's extremely valuable as well. You know what I mean? Brings a lot of value to the business and has phenomenal wisdom and knowledge. So it's like, I don't know, maybe what we went through was a blessing more so than we had American poverty, or
Yeah.
our dad was abusive. So that was a period of life. I wrestled. I did every sport with him. You know, there was no non-sports. And then transitioning back, he went away. And then when we moved back to PA finally, stayed with my grandparents for a couple of years, we upgraded to a little, I just call it like a little white trash apartment. You would have to agree about that. It was a little bit of
We were only with our grandparents for
1 year.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 year with grandparents, couple years, 2-3 years in the apartments. And then by 14, I think was it when I was 14 or 15, did we get into a little house?
I think you were going to be a freshman.
Yeah, so I was 14, 15. We finally got into a little house.
Here?
Shout out my mom. No, that was Pennsylvania. So
Okay.
Arkansas to Pennsylvania. And so she would work 24/7. We would not see her that much. So
Yeah.
I basically raised her. Okay. So
Yeah.
I could braid hair. I could braid hair. So
That's funny.
I would just make brownie batter and icing, and that would be our dinners for you know what I mean? And we would
Yeah.
but yeah, man, it was a little hardcore. You know, it wasn't too crazy, but food stamps and the food bank lines and
Yeah,
things like
man.
that. But I look back, it was always fun. We were always laughing and getting
Yeah.
donuts and things like that. So, but I hated, as I started getting older, I don't know if she hated as much as me, but I hated being like poor in the
Yeah.
community because our friends were rich. Like,
Yeah.
I had my best friend was rich in the area, wealthy now, still wealthy and you know, a great young man. But like, I hated thinking like, man, dude, like, why can't we be rich? Like, I thought it was
Yeah.
like some type of genetic thing. Like,
Yeah.
dang, dude.
Yeah, dude, I've noticed that the biggest similarities that I see between, from successful people and is you easily could have had a victim mindset there. You
Yeah.
easily could have given in and just been like, you know what,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
But you pushed through it, you got through it, and knock on wood, you've been super successful and you're gonna stay
Yeah.
successful. And I've noticed that trend with successful people in general is that there has to be some struggles in life. Like you have to go through some pain, some struggle, some sort of hardship to be able to get through it and then become successful at a certain point.
1000%.
Yeah.
No pain, no gain.
Yeah, exactly, man. And that's something that I live by because of my dad. My pops was, like I said, fucking 100 pounds at our
Yeah.
age. He was just sticking. I actually, in fact, if you go on Google, and if you type in Bosnian concentration camp, I promise you my dad will be within the first maybe 10 photos. He's wearing a green shirt. He's center photo, and he actually told me that he found that shirt and he wore it because he was embarrassed to show how he looked, because you'll see the people around him. There's photos of people around him standing and everybody looks the same, just skin and bones.
Lee, is your Wi-Fi better than mine? Because we have 1,000 people in our Wi-Fi, and for some reason it.
I'll take a look here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
but
phone is not doing Wi-Fi right now.
I'll find it here.
Your Wi-Fi is better than mine right now.
I don't know. I'm on one else.
I paid $6,000 for this Wi-Fi. Can you believe they like? I didn't even know it got that expensive.
Yeah, it's not loading for me either. I normally have always good connection, but I mean this is what I would call we're far. Have you thought about moving to Chicago or somewhere more closer to the city?
So when I became a friend,
What did you Google? What'd you Google? Bosnian concentration camp?
nah,
There
we
it
can't
is,
be
yeah. There it is. In the first how many photos did it take?
I didn't scroll very far.
Yeah.
You can see how far I
Oh,
scrolled.
Yeah, so that's my
goodness.
pops, and that's where they were kind of held hostage.
That's what makes me so passionate, man. It's
Yeah.
I really had to shut up and check myself. And I guess, God gave me my sister to help me do so, because even on my come up to success, I can look back
Mhm.
being 18, 19 and really just egotistically and victimly, embellishing my story into
Mhm.
this childhood fiction of pain that I grew up in that just really wasn't that painful. It was really a blessing, everything
Yeah.
we went through. We had a tight family. Me, my mom, and sister are like this, you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? So it's it just, and especially, I don't know what infuriates me more, being an American and having a head start and having the advantage of being blessed with some pain,
Mhm.
small fractional pain that I was able to endure.
Yeah, yeah.
and not giving my all every single day. It motivates me to get up early, give my all, to execute discipline to an extreme extent. Or seeing an immigrant come over here and to have a father like that or a mother like that, to go through real pain, real sacrifice, and then to just completely sham this opportunity. You know what I mean? To come to this free country and to completely just dishonor their parents. I tell these young men and women as well, I tell, raise your hand, are your parents from America? 30, 40% will go up. 30, 40% of the hands will go up, you know what I mean? Not from America. I'm like, I guarantee you. Probably 95% of them came here not because they like love this country so much more than theirs and their country was great, but something horrible happened.
For sure.
Do not dishonor your mother and father by sleeping in, not waking up, not becoming better, becoming some disgusting slob, not accruing and amassing a significant amount of wealth where you can give back, give your mother, your father the life that they deserve through enduring through concentration camps, through religious terrorism, whatever, being attacked from individuals from the west to the east, and it burns inside of me to think of the individuals that have come here and to take into consideration, like, man, if somebody were to completely, just abolish that opportunity and destroy it, it disgusts me. You know what I mean? How would you do that to your mother or father? So I think it's such a massive motivational piece that you guys have access to. That's a blessing and a curse, because you don't wish that upon anybody. So I think it's a beautiful thing.
It lights a fire under my ass for sure. And what I beat myself up over is the fact that I didn't get to it earlier. Didn't get to my dreams earlier. Like I said, I went to college. I was I was okay in college. I wasn't really like partying. I wasn't really doing like that crazy shit. Sure, you have your fun here and there. But I feel like I realized it late. At least, and I'm still young, like I'm 24. I turned 25 this year at the end of the year. But there's guys, and I'll talk about our group. It's called RSC, Relentless Success Club. I'll talk about it in a second, but there's guys in the group that are 15, 16 making, some of them making $500,000 a month. A month. And, that's like what, that's not what motivated me, but that like relit the fire for me. I was like, I need to take this to the next level. I need to, like you said, make my parents proud. And
every aspect of your life as well. Because a lot of these individuals, I'll respect having a better financial return than myself. But then I'll look at, well, what about your physical life? You know what I mean? Like, I read a lot of philosophy, and I think of Socrates saying, what good does a man do in his life if he lives a full life and never experiences the full peak of his physical fitness? But I personally elaborate on that and take it even further of like your physical, your financial, your mental. Like, why would you not desire perfection, or at least attempt to pursue perfection in your personal life, your physical life, in your financial life, your mental life, and every aspect of your life? I feel as if you're not pursuing that excellence, then again, you're disgracing not only yourself, your bloodline, your name, your family, your mother, your father. It's dishonorable, and it disgusts me. And that's something I try to convey to the young men, especially in my business, but just to people in general. The right time is now. You know what I mean? Whether
it's
you're
not tomorrow.
10 years old making $1 million a month, or you're 100 years old making $1 a month, pursue excellence.
Man.
You know what I mean? Like,
that speaks volumes, man. And that was what I kind of had that realization, because so me and Kenan started our business January 1st this year. And, knock on wood, has been doing really well, and I'm super grateful for it. And, I was able to quit my job. But I was kind of like, like you said, mental, physical, all that stuff. I was pursuing it to the highest, utmost, like excellent level that I can get to, and trying to get to the, peak performance essentially. But where I felt like I was lacking was like financial. This was like, 2 years ago when I graduated college and I started my job, corporate America, some people would think that that's amazing, making whatever, let's say 70 to 100K a year. And for me, just didn't stick. Like, I was sitting in the office and looking around, everybody's kind of like complacent. And for me, I was like, I'm going to the gym every day. I've been lifting weights for about like 9 years. And I've been playing sports my whole life, and everything I always did was to be the best at it. And when I was thinking about it, when I was finally out of college, I was like, okay, I gotta look at this from an aerial view, and I was like, like a third person point of view, and I was like, my financial, like the way my business and the way I see my future going at this rate, at an office, 9 to 5, is like I don't want to be complacent. It's not who I've been my whole life.
Yeah.
It's not that like you said, being the best version of yourself in every regard, business, physical, mental, all that stuff. And I feel like the other areas I was holding that standard. I was trying to, try my best in every single regard. But then when it came to like financial part, I was like, yeah, I need to change things. I need to take this to the next level. So
Yeah.
that was where my motivation came from.
It's fire.
Yeah, man.
That's fire. Now, let's get into more business. What is it that you and Kanan do?
Yeah, so we run I mean, I don't really like calling it an SMA business anymore, but it's a social media marketing agency.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we work with realtors in the real estate, and I mean, we've explored different like niches, but we work with realtors, and we're kind of like a marketing and consulting for a company for them.
That's sweet.
Yeah, so we help them with basically whether it be organic content on Instagram if they want to grow their following,
Yeah.
Video editing, all that stuff, or what we more focus on is basically like their A through Z handling of their business. So the only thing they need to focus on is closing the deal. I get them that deal. So
Yeah.
the lead generation, the lead nurturing, the fulfillment in the back end, all their operations, calling leads, talking to leads, all that stuff, and then making sure that they actually show up for our realtors.
Yeah.
So the realtors
Fire.
kind of save a lot of time on their day.
Fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. Let's transition into what's your favorite movie?
Damn. I used to be big into movies before. I mean, I feel like the typical answer is Wolf of Wall Street, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's one that comes to mind right away.
Yeah.
It's tough. I don't really have like a favorite movie, but that one came to my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
It's it fluctuates between a lot, but I would say between Troy and King Arthur, Legend of the Sword.
Okay.
So I like a lot of war movies. 300's always up there, top 5.
Okay.
Wolf of Wall Street's cliche.
Yeah,
It's
very
up there.
cliche.
So
Scarface.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's up there as well. That's a given. So I have 10 that are like number 1.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's about it. What about, man, favorite movie? You have a favorite artist or music or anything like that?
Yeah. I don't know if for me, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like music isn't the same how it used to be.
Oh, I like
Bro.
old music.
Dude, I love the old Kanye. I love listening to dude, I love 50 Cent.
Yeah.
I do like rap. Rap's
Yeah.
my genre. In the gym I'll listen to like anything that's EDM or whatever.
Yeah.
But in general, rap's kind of my go-to.
Yeah.
Obviously I love today's artists too. I love Travis Scott. I love, I listen to Uzi, I listen to those guys, but like it's just not the same, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like I'll enjoy like Good Life by Kanye way more than I'll enjoy something from these artists today.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys wanted to bring up, talk about, or no?
I mean, I guess we could talk about it off camera, doesn't really matter, but
No,
I wanted to know like more about, how you started
Life
with your
insurance.
business. Yeah, life insurance.
All
There
right,
we
I
go.
got halfway through the story. So
Yeah.
I once we moved into our own place,
Yeah.
I was only getting more wild. My dad got out of prison probably right around the time then that we moved into our home. So my freshman year or so, I think we tried to rekindle a relationship. Didn't work out and went nuts. I just went absolutely haywire. I think we spent like a week or two, and it was just a very traumatic event. And because it was 5 or 6 years without seeing him, or what? Yeah, about 5 years without seeing him, and so minimal communication with both of them when they were away. And from that, I just went nuts. You know what I mean? I never stayed in school very long. It was always in school suspension, detentions, and all that. I was always a troubled kid, always angry and fighting. And I eventually get expelled my sophomore year, start working at UPS. High school, yeah. So essentially I didn't complete high school. My mom did it for me because I got a police expulsion.
Okay.
I was fighting, just did some things I shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
And from there, UPS, I worked for a year and a half. So that was probably another hardest thing in my life.
Delivery?
UPS, no, loading. 53-foot trailers.
Dude, I did Amazon delivery.
Yeah,
that was the fucking worst job ever.
Yeah, no, bro. Imagine getting in a 53-foot trailer. It sits in the sun all day, and then some dude. I call it glorified slavery because you're just getting yelled at faster, and you're just sweating, and it's like that was hard. Year and a half of that. try to rekindle try to rebuild the relationship with my dad again, just as I approach that graduation age. My mom finishes up school for me.
Yeah.
House got shot up. I was throwing parties,
Shit.
paying my mom and sister. I don't even know if I paid them that much. I don't.
I didn't get anything.
Yeah, I don't think. I feel like I would buy a hotel every once in a while, but sometimes I would tell them to go wait in the car.
Yeah.
I'm throwing a party, and I would kick them out of the house. Someone would throw up in my sister's room or
Damn.
something, and people would fall down the stairs. And it was the one night the house got shot up. So
Shit.
it was. I'm so grateful nobody was hurt. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's like I had cornrows down to my shoulders.
It's
I
in
was just a
PA?
little thug. Yeah, Pennsylvania. I was man, not even a thug, man, just being a little,
Yeah.
delinquent. And so I end up my mom gets me the diploma. It was online school, and I upload my resumes. Well, I tried to go back down to Arkansas, it didn't work out again, and come back and upload resumes. I'm working with my best friend, Joey O's in Greensburg, and I get an automated email from a life insurance company. And then
Yeah.
I go check it out. I thought it was a scam because
Yeah.
who knows what is life insurance?
Yeah,
You know what
for
I mean?
sure.
So I go check it out. There's money. There's Maseratis in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Wolf of Wall Street was out yet. Maybe it was, but it was that vibe. And I was like, and then obviously subtract like the immorality, because it felt more like they were talking about Jesus, and it was they were still like buff and just swearing and different things like that. So it was different, but at the same time they still had that vibe, and I was like, man, and this seems fire. I definitely don't think I'm gonna get hired, but they told me like, listen, man, all you need is a life insurance license, and we'll hire you. You know what I mean? As long as your background's good and you can get hired. I got in the prerequisite life insurance course. I knocked it out. It's like a real estate course.
Yeah.
Knocked it out in 17 hours. Came home, studied it, knocked it out, and I drove up to Erie. This is the first time I fell asleep behind the wheel. Luckily, I didn't crash.
Oh, wow.
But I would go on to crash 5 times
Shit.
in my first 2 years from selling insurance. And it was my mom's car I was driving, and I wrecked it 3 or 4 times.
What car was it?
It was a Chevy Cruze,
Okay.
and I don't think any door opened. I think
Wow.
when I was getting out to run presentations, I would get out of the passenger door, or sometimes I'd crawl through the window, or I'd have to leave the window open during the winter, so like I'd have to slide off the snow. My toes would be like just purple. You know what I mean? Like
real quick,
frozen.
before you continue, so what are you driving now?
I drive a Black Widow Ram. So
Yeah.
all my guys have nicer cars than me. Their
That's
profit,
still crazy though.
yeah, their profit margins. I still spent like dang near $100,000 on it, but
Yeah.
I got scammed. So
I mean, dude,
I got stuck in it.
dude. I mean, think about the Chevy and
Yeah.
just
Yeah, no.
miles ahead.
Well,
miles difference.
Well, that was 18. At 21, I had 2 Jaguars. So
Yeah.
before I became an owner, my profit margin was a lot higher. You know, when you start your own business.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
is what it is. It looks cooler though. My 1099s look way cooler. but sometimes you're like, man, I don't care about it looking cool. Like, give me more money.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
So yeah, you came out to
Yeah.
Erie, you said?
yeah. So I go out to Erie. I get the license next day.
Mhm.
I start making sales within a week. Start making probably $1,000. It took me probably 5 or 6 months though to really feel very confident, and I was 3 months into it by January.
Okay.
And so by March, March was my breakaway month. So 6 months in,
2019?
2018.
Okay, so right.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so 6 months in the 6-month mark, March of 2018, I write 30,000 in a month, and I make 15 grand at 19 years old.
Hell yeah.
Move out, bought my grandma's old Mercedes. It was the same year as me in 1998 C-Class.
Mhm.
So I spent 2 grand on that. I move out, get my own place, and I had 20 grand in the bank, and I felt like, a millionaire. You know what I mean? So, but I would go on to be the #1 producer that year in the company that I worked with, which
Hell
is
yeah.
my business partner now. So I worked for his company, Arias Agencies in Pittsburgh,
Mhm.
and I would go on to be the #1 producer that year at 19 years old. Youngest to ever do it, youngest to qualify for our company's President's Club. Every sales
Yeah.
company has a President's Club, like, the top of the top.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I went on to do that. It was all door to door. Fell asleep a couple times behind the wheel, blew up my mom's car, and
Damn.
you know what I mean? So, and then from there, I think I made 114,000 my first year. And then it just multiplied, it doubled pretty much every year. And then I made my first 7 figures in 22. Technically, the 1099 came in 22. So,
Huge, man. That's true inspiration right there,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Love that.
it was a lot. You know what I mean? A lot went into it. I think I developed like a physical, neurological like issue from lack of sleep. I'll twitch, nothing bad that I know of. but I
He's like, it's not even bad.
yeah, like apparently she said on the flights, like
Yeah.
I sleep like nuts. Like I have no
Fighting
idea.
demons. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
I have no
yeah.
idea. So all I know is we made it, so it was worth it. So,
Yeah, man.
but
And
yeah.
now you're basically running the
Yes.
same
So
part here now.
leadership didn't take off for me. I made 500. I probably made 250, $300,000
Sick.
before I transitioned into leadership income. Because a lot of people will classify life insurance and they'll be like, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. It's a scam.
Yeah.
You got to recruit people to make money. It's like, I made 300 grand and went 2 years
Yeah.
with making money off of nobody, just me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Uno. So
Yeah.
all of the money was made from the production that I was producing and pushing.
Yeah.
And then eventually, as I transitioned into leadership, my issue with leadership wasn't a lack of recruiting; it was a lack of patience and relationship building. I was a very angry and impatient individual.
Mhm.
I wanted things done now. I wanted you to be excellent. I wanted you to pursue
Yeah.
excellence. I wanted you to hate everything like I did. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it was like
Yeah.
there was a deep hate in me of like, I'm not here to beat you. I'm here to take everything you love. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I was indoctrinated. You know what I mean? As
Mhm.
there's something that you can't. I can embellish so many different things as a kid, but
Mhm.
like and make things sound cooler. But at the end of the day, like we were watching 300. We were
Yeah.
like she was watching 300. Like
Yeah.
I'm here to kill. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
man.
the only way that I can do so in a legal and righteous format is through absolute self domination and analyzing and looking at myself of like, who in here is a true competitor? I'm gonna lock eyes with him.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go until my heart gives out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? In
man.
every aspect of my life, whether it's the gym, like I don't care what it takes because I know. And for me, I go back to the immigrants. I'm not letting somebody come to my country where I had a head start and outwork me. You know what I mean? Like for me, it wouldn't be honorable. And a man should want that in another man. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I don't respect a man unless he says I'm the best man.
Mhm.
As soon as you succumb to another man and you say that man's better than me, you've admitted weakness. Our ancestors would not
Yeah.
do that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in every belief, nationality, every country, every religious, there's always been some idea of like a Valhalla. Even like
Yeah.
with Christianity, there's a verse that says to live is Christ and to die is gain. And what
Mhm.
it simply means by that, and I imagine there's something similar in the Quran. And it's
For
like
sure.
if I'm living, I'm glorifying Jesus Christ
Mhm.
and my actions. I'm going to war for Christ. It's not like I think they make Jesus seem to be like just this like fairy godmother. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like when he was really, this was an individual that was passionate about the rule and principle of just Christianity in general, of
Yeah.
being righteous and loving and graceful towards individuals,
Right.
but not compromising that either. And I can imagine
Yeah.
your beliefs are very similar, but I'm not here to be some like pushover.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So for when I see people elicit that type of, weakness, I don't even want to compete with a weak man anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's appetizing for another weak man.
Yeah.
Weak men
Yeah.
like to prey on weak men.
Yeah.
I like to, and even though I have to work up to it sometimes in jiu-jitsu, I'm not looking to roll with the little boy.
Yeah, man.
Give me the Russian killer
Yeah.
that isn't speaking English.
Give him the Hamza.
You know what I mean? Give me,
Yeah.
Hamza. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man.
Hamza, Chimav, all of them. Give me the guy that's walking out to the Islamic prayer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's like, Allah, give me everything. I take your
dude.
soul. I want to fight him.
Yeah,
There's no
dude.
honor. You know
That's
what I
how
mean?
you
There's
get
no
better,
honor
man.
and weakness. And I was thinking about that this morning in the sauna. I said, I'll send notes to myself and I'll start hyping myself up. And I got to be careful because I'll start like thinking about fighting the old dude next to me, like some 74-year-old dude. And I'll be like, I'll take him right now.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking to myself and I'm like, man, we live in a day and age of a lot of false gladiators. And because I'm so obsessed with just history and Roman war and just any of it, just the Greek mythology, the Troy, Achilles and Hercules, all of these things. And I'm thinking like we live in an age of a lot of false gladiators. And a false gladiator to me is an individual that loves the idea of war but knows nothing of war. You know what I mean? Even myself, I question my own ego because I speak so much of war, but what do I know of real war?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been in a few fights.
Yeah.
I've been around a few weapons. I've been in some, weird situations, but I've never really felt, a gun placed to my head and someone saying, I will kill you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think of like, even right now, as I'm speaking to you directly, I'm thinking of your father probably was in situations or moments way closer there, the tangibility of real war, where now you're fully exposed. Are you a gladiator or are you a false gladiator? And for me, the false gladiator, 99% of them live on Instagram. It sounds good.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship, success, failure, and everybody puts it on their story. But then when it's time to go to war,
Yeah.
when it's time for you to be broke for a couple years, can you keep going and not give up? When you've made hundreds and thousands of calls and you've had hundreds and thousands of no's and chargebacks, and people have quit on you, and your girlfriend left on you, and your mother's died, and you like, you know, it sounded good, but now it's time to go to war. And I've always referenced it because I've thought to myself, you know what I mean? Like, when you're in war, do you think you can stop and have a funeral? You know what I mean? You think you can stop and have a birthday? Do you think you can stop and say, I don't feel good, I have a headache, I can't make calls today?
Yeah, dude, none of that.
You
There's
misstep
no
and you die.
Yeah, no exceptions, man.
You know what I mean? You get your head blown off. So it's like,
Sure.
you know, and we're not in a real war, but it's like, they've happened before. Why wouldn't they? Why can't they happen again?
Yeah, man.
You know
That's
what I
why.
mean?
That's why every morning I wake up, I'm like, dude, there's I think of my dad a lot. I'm like, he's been through shit that I'll never be through, and it's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck am I sitting here? Like, I barely complain nowadays, man, because like I have nothing to complain for.
Yeah.
You know, I got a roof over my head, I got clothes on my back. My dad came here with no clothes on his back,
Yeah.
no roof, no nothing, and so I'm like, I got nothing. You know, if I'm complaining about, you know, taking 20 sales calls in a day, and I'm like, fuck, I'm tired. You know, I gotta go to the gym or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's no time to sit and fucking complain. Like,
I only complain when my sister's not around. She'll check me on it or something, say something dumb, and it'll make me stop complaining. But no, man, I completely agree with that. And I love all of that. I love the game. I love the hustle.
yeah, man.
You know what I mean? I think one of my favorite movies is I think it is. I got to look it up
Yeah.
because I know the quote. I love the game. I love the hustle. It's a gangster movie.
Okay.
Yeah, Paid in Full.
Oh, okay. I've heard
love
of
the
it.
game. I
Is
love
that
the hustle.
is that the one with who's the main actor in that? Isn't it what's his name? I mean, it's whatever. I think I've watched that movie.
Let me
Pretty
see
sure I've
here.
watched it.
This guy is Wood Harris, and he was in the football movie with Denzel. Remember the Titans.
Okay.
So Wood
gotcha.
Harris, he was the linebacker that goes strong side, left side,
Okay,
strong
okay.
side.
Gotcha. So
Yeah, so he's the main actor in that. But yeah,
quote in that
man.
movie you said?
Yeah, so that's Paid in Full.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paid in Full, fire movie.
Okay.
And Remember Titans is the football movie. But yeah, man, life insurance has been a blessing for me. It's a very simple product. Essentially, individuals are setting aside money on a monthly basis, especially, and a lot of people think it's a blue collar product. It's a white collar product as
Okay.
well, because the white collar group, individuals like yourself, myself, that 6 figures are now, you know, as we keep closer to 7 figures to even be classified as a white collar individual, your money that's flowing is flowing from a vessel, an active business. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Very few individuals have just this liquidated estate, and it's prepared and ready to be pillaged by Uncle Sam. When you
sure.
die, Uncle Sam is coming for a percentage, whether you're poor or you're rich. When you're rich, coming up with 20% of a federal estate tax or just a state estate tax.
Yeah.
Different states have, I think Illinois is up to like 18% depending on your estate. You know
There's
what I mean?
loopholes around it, but you're right, 100%.
You got trusts
Yeah.
and different things like that, but like there's loopholes for everything.
Yeah,
you know what
man.
I mean?
And
But-
there shouldn't be loopholes. Like it shouldn't have to come to
Yeah,
that.
no, it
It's
shouldn't.
stupid.
But this preparation is few individuals do it. Then you get a bill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got a $10 million estate. You got to come up with $2 million. Nobody sets aside $2 million
Just to
for
sit.
death.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? And then when you ask them, well, just throw me in the back. We can throw you in the back. Uncle Sam once paid for you to live and die,
Yeah, man.
right? And
Yeah.
if you don't figure it out, your family's going to figure it out. So all we simply ask is, I'd say, Edin, do you care about your family?
Yeah.
You do. Okay. Would they be worth you setting aside a couple hours a day? What are they worth to you? A couple bucks a day?
Everything.
Minimum?
Man. Yeah, everything.
Everything. You told me everything. So
yeah, man.
$2, $3 a day. Would that take food off the table?
No, it wouldn't.
No, exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a permanent benefits package. What you're going to have in this is you're going to have a tax-exempt portfolio. Essentially, when you're going to pass away, you're not going to touch it. But when you pass away, this money is going to go to your family and it'll take care of final expenses in general.
Okay.
I hope that there's not a bunch of final expenses and you're
Yeah.
going to have this $100,000 just to enjoy and
Use
celebrate
later.
you.
Yeah.
Would you mind looking down from heaven and they got an extra $100,000 just to celebrate you?
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So sign here and here. So that's
For sure.
selling life insurance.
Okay,
Very
cool.
simple. It's like you're attaching the care. The problem is a lack of preparation and a lack of understanding in regard to, I don't have final expense protection and I care about my family. It's an emotional sale more so
For
than
sure.
it's a tangible sale. right? And so from there, you're transferring that belief, and not even belief, it's just understanding of like, I understand, I care about my family, and that there's expenses I can't get around.
Yeah, man.
Right? I don't have a forest family,
For sure.
so it's like they have expenses, and that's it, man. You can push it yourself, or I can get 10 of you to push it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah,
like whatever
exactly.
you want to do. I get, just like any other business, I get 10 or 20 points. If anything, you guys probably get 50 points, right? You get 50, he gets 50.
Okay.
You know, off your business in regard to the
Yeah,
SMMA.
yeah,
I imagine
yeah.
you guys cut it up 50-50.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to scale this model, it's like you guys can take it to maybe 100 million.
Yeah.
But why not go to 100 billion? I promise
Yeah.
you, you're not going to 100 billion without a couple more people.
Oh,
so
for
now
sure.
you have to start to figure out well, it's like when people are like, well, you're recruiting, that's a scam. Well, it's like, no, to scale, what do you need?
People. Yeah, man.
You need more
For
people.
sure.
You need better. And it's not even more people. We just need better people. And,
Yeah.
and there's just a lack of better people right now.
Yeah,
so
man.
we need as many people as possible to find better people.
Yeah, there's two things that I want to touch on that. So one, obviously, wanted to mention real quick, my boy Jalil. I know you spoke with him. Hopefully, that's working out with you. Cool.
Yes.
Second thing, it seems like it's almost like you have to highlight the problem for the people, for the buyers. It's similar to what we do. So I actually just had a
That's the only way I sell. I don't sell solution first.
Yeah.
I always sell problem.
You got it, exactly. And then I actually had a conversation today with my buddy who runs Relentless Success Club. His name's Alex. He's 15 years old and he's making thousands and thousands and thousands.
Can we
a
get him
month.
on the podcast?
I could. Ooh, he's in Canada.
Could he fly here? I'll throw some bread at it.
Yeah, he probably. I mean, it's him and my buddy Dylan. Them
I'd
two
love
run.
to learn. He's 15 and he's making
He's-
500,000 a month.
He's making this. That's a different guy I'm talking
Okay.
about. But he's still making a lot of money.
I was 15 and just absolutely poor. I would
That's
love
what
to
I'm
like pick
saying,
his
man.
brain.
That is what I'm saying. And that was. This
I
is
would
why.
love to get this, Alex. I would love.
Yeah.
First off, you're making 100,000 a month. You make it the same as me. You need to just pay for it yourself and come get on the
Yeah,
podcast.
he's absolute dog. So him and my buddy Dylan, they run it together. Dylan's a little older. He's 22.
Yeah.
Alex is 15, 16.
I would love you. Both in
And
Canada.
They're both from Canada. Yeah.
Let's
So
go.
that was actually why me and Kenan
You
joined
guys
the
want to get
Relentless.
out of there anyways, dude. You
Yeah.
guys, everything you can't even. I saw the other day. You can't even like do a podcast there or something.
Yeah, so that was why we joined Relentless Success Club. You know, we pay to get in it. We just
they gotta be hustlers.
best-
Making money in Canada is
Dude.
basically a dictatorship up there right now.
bro, the best financial decision I've ever made is if you need a mentor. Yeah, man, if you need a mentorship, everybody needs a mentor in life. I think.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I consider being very knowledgeable. Let's say in fitness, but if I were to, let's say, wanted to compete in bodybuilding, I would still go and hire a coach or hire.
Yeah.
So regardless, I think no matter how good you are in something, I think you can always use a mentor and learn from one. So we joined the Relentless Success Club, and so just this morning, Alex was talking to me about how you have to highlight the problem for these people,
Yeah.
and we were just talking about sales a little bit, but he was like, you really need to clarify the problem. So like in our case, if I'm talking to a realtor, sometimes they don't even know the fact that they can
How many
handle.
clients are missing out
Yeah,
on?
dude, and it's like.
You just gotta show people Mr. Beast and be like, this dude's worth $1 billion. He just makes videos.
Exactly, and it's like,
I mean, what are you doing?
and it's like the thing that I really try to stress with them is like the fact that they're not. They probably handle only their clients through like word of mouth, and it's like as a realtor,
That's insane.
there's about 6 avenues.
I'm putting this in my group. I'm taking notes on this. I'm putting it in my. We just joined Discord today, so my whole company's in.
Hell
here.
yeah. So the when it comes to like outreach, I would say and you can incorporate this as well for your business because I know you're looking for more people. There's about 6 ways that you can do outreach, right? And the biggest thing for realtors is they do word of mouth. Word of mouth referrals is the way that they grow, but word of mouth is the most important because it's the only one that grows exponentially. You know, one person tells 2 people tell 4 people tell 8, and it keeps growing exponentially, the word of mouth, and that's how you
Yes,
kind of gain
yeah.
clients, right? But there's 5 other avenues that you can, which is what I tell these realtors is there's 5 other ways that you can grow. One is through organic content, one is through affiliates, one is through door knocking.
Yeah.
But with the one that we really focus on is paid advertisements.
Yeah. Alex Hormozy, little categories.
There you go, exactly. So that's what I try to highlight to, I highlight that problem to my realtors and I tell them that they're missing out a lot because, doing manual or doing outbound instead of just focusing on inbound referrals is you can double or triple your business.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
Fire. Is there anything else you wanted to hit on?
Dude, I think we covered it all, man.
Fire.
I could talk
Kenan,
all
anything
day,
else?
but yeah.
Yeah. Well, where can people find you guys, do business with you guys?
Yeah, man.
Anything
So
you guys want to bring up right now?
yeah, I mean, we have our business is Agencies Media. It's with the E instead of an A, so not agency with a E with the E. Or you can follow me on Instagram. My thing is Edin with an underscore at the end. But
Are you gonna help them spell that?
Yeah, so it's I'm and
90%
then
of America has a third grade reading level.
for sure, man. Edin, my first name is 4 letters, very easy, but I know it's foreign as hell. It's Edin.
Dope.
Yeah,
Let's go.
for sure, man.
Guys, this was Edin. Make sure you guys follow him. Go do business with him and Kanan. Send me 10% of the money.
Yep.
And let's go. Sub to the channel or unsub. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Let's go. Peace.